Hello and welcome to the Match Game AI edition. Get ready to match Epsilon's AI All-Stars. Locke Rose, Adina Kalamprovich, and Cheyenne Conrad as we play the star-studded big marketing match game. I'm your host, John Beebe. Again, we have Cheyenne, Adina, and Locke. Welcome to the show that's just as exciting as Jurassic Park if we didn't have any dinosaurs or rides. But let's start by saying hello to our celebrities and see what they've been up to. Welcome, Cheyenne Conrad. Cheyenne, are you there?
Yes. Hi, John. How are you?
Last time we chatted, you were telling me about the most delicious dessert that you tried making during COVID. What was that called again?
A croquembouche, which
And what
literally
does that mean?
means ultimately a crunch in the mouth.
Well, that sounds pretty painful, Cheyenne.
As painful as it may sound, it's not, just like AI. And I've worked with AI in multiple capacities as my role of VP of product within Epsilon.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Cheyenne. We're going to move along. Next, we have Adina Kalamprovich. Good afternoon, good evening, or morning, whatever time of day it is. Adina, are you there?
I am, John, and good job in pronouncing my last name.
I practiced it quite a bit at home in front of the mirror. But thanks for joining us. So you recently moved into a new role. You're the Director of Partner Strategy and Planning. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on the Epsilon digital media solutions side, and I used to work with a book of clients, helping them drive business outcomes with our programmatic solution. And now I've moved into a role where I'm doing that at scale with our Publicis and Epsilon digital clients.
Nice. And can you tell me a little bit more about yourself or?
Let's see, what do you want to know? I'm a Leo. I love to lounge. I hate hiking.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much sums me up.
Yeah, I'm not into hiking either. I prefer sitting down at a bar and enjoying drinks after the hike.
Yes.
And then finally, last but certainly not least, we have Locke Rose. And Locke, are you there?
I am.
I've been geeking out since our last conversation about identity, and it's great to see you again. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm excited to be here.
And so, Locke, you are Epsilon's Chief Analytics Officer, right?
That's right. I'm also a Pisces. My experience with AI includes building solutions for self-driving delivery systems, personalization, optimization, and identity.
Excellent. Well, great to have you, Locke. Thanks for joining us. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's meet our contestant. We have Kelly Montgomery, who's the head of global media partnerships at Ford Motor Company and one of my besties in work and life. Kelly, are you there?
I am. Good to be with you, John.
Great to be with you. I understand you're pretty flexible. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, I love yoga. I'm a plant mom, a cat mom, a dog mom, and recently promoted to baby mom. So nice. Flexibility happens in all areas of my life.
Yeah, I think it's a key in my life as well, but let's get on with the game and let's talk about the rules real quick and how we're going to be approaching the match game. I'll ask our AI All-Star celebrity panelists a question, then ask them to fill in the blank on their whiteboards. Then our contestant Kelly tries to match as many of our stars' answers as possible, and whoever gets the most matches wins. So let's dive in with question number one. We all know identity is foundational to data-driven, personalized marketing. And speaking of identity, Kelly, I understand you identify as a mom now. Congratulations. But every time we go to the bar together, you get carded. And I know you just turned 21. But speaking of getting ID'd, a great cocktail is based on identifying the right ingredients for customers. So panelists, fill in the blank. Blank is a key AI ingredient to tickle your customers' taste buds. So I'm going to give you a minute to jot down your thoughts and your answers. Start our music here. Blank is an AI ingredient to tickle your customers' taste buds. All right, looks like we have our answers coming in. So Kelly, blank is an key AI ingredient to tickle your customers' taste buds. Kelly, what did you get?
Well, John, my age is none of your business. So I'm definitely going to have to go with privacy.
Privacy. Excellent. Privacy is a great answer. Let's see if we can find some matches amongst our star panelists here. I'm going to start with Cheyenne. Cheyenne, blank is a key AI ingredient to tickle your customers' taste buds.
Scale. Ultimately, because with the ever evolving ecosystem that we have and third-party identifiers going away, marketers have to think differently. To be able to have personalized reach, you need to be able to reach your customers across channels, across formats, and also across where they interact, as well as knowing how to speak to them. So scale is my answer.
Excellent. I'm sorry, Cheyenne, that's not a match, but that is a correct answer, and that's fantastic. Let's move on to Adina. Adina, blank is a key AI ingredient to tickle your customers' taste buds.
I'm going to go with accuracy. And the reason I'm saying accuracy.
What is that on the board there?
So this is
a target.
A target. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm creative. I'm just not a good drawer. But I'm going to go with accuracy because you don't want to play Marco Polo with your investment dollars on the open web. So being able to lean in and know that you're targeting verified individuals versus leveraging third-party identifiers, which we know are flawed and going away, is going to be important to make sure that you're maximizing your investment, you're not wasting media dollars, you're driving strong performance, and you're giving your customers the right type of brand engagement when it comes to messaging.
So accuracy, I loved what you said, and there's a big difference between an identity and identifiers, and I think that's spot on accurate. I'm sorry, it is not a match to privacy that Kelly gave. So Locke, can we get a match here? Blank is a key AI ingredient to tickle your customers' taste buds.
Longevity.
Tell me what you mean.
To learn about your customers, you need to be in there for the long haul. You need to stay in touch and accumulate insights about them and their lives and what they value over time. A single snapshot won't tell you what you need to know because many of the most important things, most important decisions, such as researching a new car, only happen occasionally.
I think the buying cycle for a car it can get up to 6 months. Keep me legit here, Kelly, because you're in auto, but I think it takes quite a bit of time, or it depends. I guess if you get in a car accident or your car breaks down, you never know. So picking up on those signals, but picking up on them over time is really important to mastering identity. So technically, Kelly, we don't have a match here for you, but the good news is there's no wrong answers here. All of these are the key ingredients to AI. And I wanted to add one more, which is connectivity. And connectivity means like when you're going across multiple devices, I think most people have 5 different email addresses and multiple devices in their homes, and being able to connect the dots between those experiences and those identifiers, that's, the average marketer might mistake those 5 email addresses for 5 different people versus just one person, but to Epsilon, it's just one person. So connecting the dots online and offline, I think is really important too. Being able to connect the dots between offline transactions, that connectivity is another final key to tickle your customers' taste buds. So Kelly, because I'm a nice guy occasionally, I'm going to give you all 5 points for that because technically we all didn't have a match, but they're all right. So let's move on to our third question. All right, we are all here because we know how important AI is for marketing, but even data savvy marketers seem hesitant to fully embrace AI. Sometimes people shy away from things that are a little bit complicated, like climate change or keto diets or TikTok or kombucha, which I think is kind of gross. So panelists, fill in the blank. When it comes to AI, blank makes me shake in my boots. When it comes to AI, blank makes me shake in my boots. I'm going to put on a little music here for you to jot down your answers. When it comes to AI, blank makes me shake in my boots. Looks like we're finishing up over here. Adina, I'm expecting a masterpiece art from you. All right, so let's see if we can find some matches for you, Kelly. When it comes to AI, blank makes me shake in my boots.
Well, John, I gotta say, Robots are taking over the world, so
Yeah.
I'm going with robots.
Robots taking over the world. I can't remember, what was that movie with Will Smith? Maybe it was called AI. I have no idea. But anyway, robots taking over the world. That's a fantastic answer. Let's see if we can find any matches on our panel. I'm going to start, Adina, with you. When it comes to AI, blank makes me shake in my boots.
I'm going to say degree of technical difficulty. And what I have drawn here is me saying, no, it's too hard. And that's referencing trying to run, which I also don't enjoy, along with hiking. And the reason I'm saying, degree of technical difficulty, AI can seem really overwhelming. And so for anybody who's going to try to venture into that, break it down into pieces. Lay out your strategy. Where are you? Where do you want to go? How do you tie it back to your business objectives? And then start to identify what are some of the crawl, walk, run strategies that you can start to lean into and test into that'll help build your AI. So you don't have to do everything all at once, as long as you've got a solid roadmap and accurate and usable data.
Excellent. So it's hard to do, the technical difficulty. And I'm sorry that's not a match with robots taking over the world, but that is a fantastic answer. Let's move next to Locke. Locke, when it comes to AI, blank makes me shake in my boots.
Loss of control.
What do you mean by that, loss of control?
If I'm doing my job and the machines are actually running things, I'll still be the one who's accountable. They'll make a mistake, and I'll be the one who gets fired because you're not going to fire the machines. And this is not true. AI is about machines amplifying people, not taking over from people. Our operational teams, we've built AI amplified tools for them. They've grown to love and depend on those. For one thing, the machines run 24/7, so operational teams don't have to run 24/7. And the machines call them when the machines need help.
I love it. So machines amplifying the actual humans versus taking over. But I do think we have a match here. The loss of control, robots taking over the world. I think we have a match. So congratulations, Kelly and Locke. There's points there. And finally, Cheyenne, can you bring us home with this? When it comes to AI, blank makes me shake in my boots.
Replacing humans.
There you go. So what do you mean by that? Because Locke touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. So what I mean by that is really AI is ultimately always going to require the human touch to be effective. So what I mean here is AI can absolutely help us with some predictive decisioning and can also help with ultimately finding efficiencies, but it will never be able to replace the human insights as we are strategists at the end of the day. And so I think that there's a lot of truth behind the fact that there are efficiencies it can definitely bring, but the human touch is always relevant and needed.
Excellent. So it sounds like we have another match, the loss of control or, taking over from humans. So Kelly, Cheyenne, congratulations. That's another match. Excellent. And let's move on to question 4. As you can tell, I am not afraid to make a fashion statement with my customers. And Kelly, you know how dressing for success on a budget can be tricky. Like marketers with their finance departments, I often ask my husband for more cash for my wardrobe. He tells me we need to put more in the bank, or revenue, than spend on my new tanks. And I couldn't think of a better rhyme for that. But panelists, fill in the blank. I can use AI to make bank with blank. I can use AI to make bank with blank. So jot your answers down there. I can use AI to make bank with blank. It looks like we have our panelists done writing down their answers. And Kelly, let's see what you wrote down and let's see if we can find some matches. I can use AI to make bank with blank. Kelly, what'd you write?
Well, John, normally I rely on my stockbroker to make me bank. So I'm wondering, personal finances, all things considered, can AI help me determine if Bitcoin is going to rise?
Okay, so I don't know. That's a good question, probably for Locke. So we have Bitcoin is your answer. I can make bank with Bitcoin. All right. Let's move to our panel to see if we can find you some matches. Locke, I'm going to start with you. I can use AI to make bank with blank.
Audience optimization.
Okay, what does that mean?
Audience development takes on new life by adding AI as an element in the decision-making process. Say goodbye to segments. Every individual becomes a segment of one. So you pick individuals who want to engage with your brand, no matter what they look like on the outside. If you're in a traditional segment, you never leave it. This way, you join the audience when you're important to the brand and not when you're not.
Audience optimization, is that what that was your answer?
That's
Audience
right.
Optimization, I'm sorry, it's not Bitcoin, but that is not a match, Kelly, I'm sorry. Let's see if we can find some luck here with Adina. Adina, I can use AI to make bank with blank.
I'm gonna say, and it's got a look, this is based off my experience, media buying. So I've put Epsilon Media Digital Solutions here, but the reason media buying can do it is if you're using a very strong platform that's leveraging verified individuals for targeting, you've got AI that's constantly learning, it's not start-stopping, you can see those results tied to your business outcomes via those strategies immediately, and then start building. So you've got an ecosystem across different channels and tactics. And so that's an easy and immediate way that you can make bank.
So media buying for efficiency as well as for revenue generation. So that's a fantastic answer. So that is not a match, however. So let's move on to Cheyenne. Cheyenne, I can use AI to make bank with blank.
I put down creative templates ultimately. And that is my fine art of what a creative template is. Think of it as the content placeholders that you can personalize based off of the individual's attributes that we know, so we can improve that customer's experience with your brand. And instead of it maybe necessarily not making you bank, it is definitely driving cost savings because of the influx of resources you don't have to hire when automation's at play.
I see. So like the creative, not just targeting the right people, but getting the right message in front of them on the right device with the right creative message. So excellent answer. I'm sorry, that is not a match with Bitcoin, Kelly, but excellent answers all around. Let's move on to our last and final question. Speaking of creative personalized treatment, Cheyenne, my therapist always gives me some incredible nuggets of truth and wisdom, like be an optimist, but be an optimist who carries an umbrella. Or perspiration is the key to success, but never let them see you sweat, which I think was a deodorant ad back in the day, but I digress. Just like my therapist's advice, when implementing AI, it comes down to a few key best practices. So we're talking about best practices here, panelists. When it comes to AI success, the key is blank. And I'm going to give you a few moments to jot down your answers. When it comes to AI success, the key is blank. When it comes to AI success, the key is blank. Looks like Cheyenne's still jotting things down or drawing a picture. All right, let's get going. So let's start, Kelly. When it comes to AI success, the key is blank.
Well, John, this is a great question. Knowing what you want is half the battle. So I'm going to say having a North Star or starting with goals.
Starting with goals. All right. So starting with goals, North Star. I'm going to start with Cheyenne. Cheyenne, when it comes to AI success, the key is blank.
Ultimately, train your AI on outcomes. So really what this means is setting those goals or key performance indicators that can ultimately help lead you down a path of success, and making sure that not only are you setting up the machine learning approach that you want to achieve with your brand, but also making sure that you're meeting the objectives and also managing stakeholders, so that way they understand the value that machine learning brings to your business.
So setting your goals, training outcomes, sounds like it's a match. Congratulations, Cheyenne and Kelly, it's a match. Let's move on to Locke. When it comes to AI success, the key is blank.
Never stop learning.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Your learning will continue to grow and improve over time as your AI consumes more data. You can take advantage of new tools, new techniques, new insights, new data sources. So your business needs are going to change. Challenge your machine learning to address those.
Awesome answer. And it's true, learning and learning over time in the process and letting those models run to understand who your customers are and better connect with them in future engagements. I think it's a fantastic answer. Unfortunately, Locke, that is not a match with Kelly. Finally, Adina, when it comes to AI success, the key is blank.
Start small. And I drew a picture of what I tell myself when I eat popcorn in public, which is one kernel at a time. Which is why you won't really see me ever eat popcorn in public. I promise, you'll notice in the office. But essentially, AI, there are endless possibilities. And so just start with like 3 key steps. Number 1, make sure your data and identity strategy is outlined. Make sure you're understanding what data and privacy use laws are. And then make sure you have a roadmap, right? And identify what are the things you can start with, crawl, walk, running with to help drive success for the short and long term.
I think that's a really good piece of advice because a lot of people think that they have to go all the way in with AI without starting small and really identifying what are the things we're trying to accomplish today and letting it grow and evolve over time. So I think starting small, those are all wonderful pieces of advice. Cheyenne, you were a match with Kelly, so congratulations, but we should probably put some of these on a motivational poster with kittens or puppies or something. But let's do a quick recap of everything we've learned today. And Mary, if you could help pull up our recap. So our key takeaways, there are a lot of fresh ingredients in an AI salad, right? You put your data to work to optimize online and offline transactions. You select your individual targets. You can even use it for creative, personalized recommendations and maximize that reach without sacrificing the quality or the spend. We talked today and we heard about our AI cocktail ingredients that are foundational elements of identity to tickle your customers' taste buds. Those components are privacy, accuracy, scale, connectivity, and longevity. Personalizing that journey and using that to drive better outcomes for your customers and your brand in real time. Taking all of those signals that we see across billions of data points and signals, you can optimize that creative toward individual messages one-to-one. And again, you can maximize that reach without having to sacrifice the quality of your media spend or your spend. And then you can optimize those online and offline transactions together with AI. So in sum, the key winner is that really all of us, and I suppose everybody suspected that, but the winner is all of us because AI, congratulations, by the way, round of applause. We should have had those sound effects. But AI truly is a match game and the points really do matter to your customers. So I want to thank everybody for playing. Thanks for playing along at home to our esteemed panelists. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Mary Heiser, Allison Malone, Megan Niasti, and of course, our contestant, Kelly Montgomery of Ford. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Thanks for joining.